Got any questions, just stop me. I'll stop and answer anything. There you go.
All right, thanks, JR. Any questions for JR?
So just a couple of things to add for everyone's awareness. We did switch over credit cards. We are offboarding all the other credit cards we had, the charity charge and the regular cards. So we've switched over to this thing called Ramp. It's working pretty well. But with that being said, if anybody is going to spend anything with the department, please give it me first, and I can get you either a virtual card or whatever we need to do. And it's immediate. It's ready to go. If we need to buy something, whatever it may be. So please, I would rather do that than me having to reimburse expenses via, request for reimbursement. Let me put it that way. I think that was about it. Is there anything else I need to cover, Mike?
No, that sounds good. Any questions for JR? All right, seeing as there's no questions, we'll move on to the next agenda item. There are no communications tonight from the leadership. We'll get into some of the more details in the reports. For bills, we have a few bills. I think I'm just going to introduce each one of these so we can talk about it if necessary. The first one is the corner-to-corner cleaning for the post-construction cleaning that Pete brought up last month. This is not to exceed $2,100 and approved by the board of directors. I motion to, that's in the form of a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, second from Mike White. Any discussion? Seeing as there's no discussion, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, ayes have it. All right, the second item is gym flooring, and that is going to come from Rogue Fitness. We got that quoted out a couple months ago, but we were in the midst of the construction, so we didn't move forward with it. This is to prevent the floor from getting banged up in there. If you've worked out in there, you can see that that's starting to happen, so this should protect it. That's in the form of a motion. It's not to exceed $1,500, and that's in the form of a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Wes. Any discussion? Seeing as there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. The third item, we want to get new tables and chairs for the McCarthy room. As you know, the previous tables and chairs, the wood and the metal chairs are pretty beat up. They're from back in the bingo days, and I would guess they're about 30 years old. So the idea is to purchase tables and chairs so we can set it up like a classroom to host MIFRE classes. I put some quotes in front of the president, and we came back that $2,700 should cover it. So this is in the form of a motion for tables and chairs for $2,700. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, second from Stephen Truesdale. Any discussion?
Hey, Mike.
Go ahead, Pete.
Just had a concern with the quality of the decision. I know we got a couple different quotes. I just wanted to put it out there that if we run with what's being proposed, the question is durability and length of service. If we run with this, just be aware that it's just an opinion that they may not last as long as we would like them to last. It's quite possible they may not run the longevity of what one would imagine for plastic tables. So I know the other quote, Mike, I think the next closest quote was around 5,000. Was that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
In round figures. So I just wanted to throw it out there. We're going to go in with half the cost, but know that they may only have half the life of what could be purchased, and we, was considered as a good product. There's past experience with it. So just wanted to throw it out there that we can run with it, but they may not last as long as we might desire to have them last. And when I say last, you're talking a difference of probably 5 to 10 years versus what we're purchasing may only last, 3 to 5 years. We'll see. It depends on how the chairs and the tables are quote unquote manhandled. So just a comment, not for or against the purchase that we're proposing right now. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, we so it's the background. We considered two different products. The one that is being proposed for approximately $2,700 is it's called Lifetime. They make various tables and plastic chairs, and the quote that Pete proposed that they used through Bowie was for Mighty Light, which came back to be about twice the price. However, it does look like the Mighty Light products, I would say, are more durable. But I think that the rationale leadership used to propose this as opposed to the other one is that, at least for the time being, we're probably not going to host as many classes as Bowie, although the long-term plan would be to do so. So just for consideration, any other discussion?
Yeah, that's all I had, Mike. Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
What's the warranty for the ones that we have voted on?
I don't know offhand, to be honest with you. Maybe I can look it up. Pete, do you know the warranty of the product you were proposing?
I don't have it off the top of my head, but it's somewhere in excess, I think, of 10 or 15-year warranty. It's a pretty lengthy warranty out there, and anybody that has done any training at Bowie at 43, you sat behind them. They've been there probably for the last 15 years. They still look brand new, maybe even longer than 15 years. The same product, if I'm not mistaken, Truesdale may recall them. They have them upstairs at Station 38, if I'm not mistaken. Similar product, or if not the same product.
One of the things that's important to point out, though, is this is essentially a pilot program as far as testing the room configuration. And given the COVID requirements and everything else, we might want to go back to a more traditional classroom in a couple of years. So it's a pretty good way to get your foot in the door and try something out.
Absolutely. And it's just, Mike, just wanted to throw the back room discussion on it, so people know it wasn't just a one and done decision. That we did look at a couple different things.
So to answer Truesdale's question, the Lifetime tables and chairs have a lifetime warranty. I have not read the fine print. I don't have time to do that right this second, but just glancing over it, that's what it says.
I think based on Chief Pecker's information and the information that you just provided, that we just continue with the motion as voted on.
Okay, thank you, Truesdale. Any other discussion? Seeing as there's no more discussion, all in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, ayes have it. So I'm going to introduce both these bills as one package, this next one. So our third quarter insurance for the price of $5,281.50. And our supplemental fallout insurance, which was required by the mortgage that we took out last year, for $2,415. And that's in the form of a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Thomas Groom. Thank you. Any discussion on that? Seeing as there's no discussion, all in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. Sorry, I muted myself. With that, we'll move on to the standing and special committee reports. JR, do you have anything additional to add? I'm going to assume not. Secretary Bell, do you have anything?
Yes, I have been working on adding minutes from the calendar year 2013 to present to the MVFD all staff drive, so anyone can have access to them if they need to reference something, or if they accidentally deleted an email and need to see what was discussed at a meeting. That's all.
Thank you, Amanda. That's great. I appreciate you doing that. With that, we'll move on to my report. I'll try to be brief. The hose rack we ordered last month, the estimated ship date is on June 10th, so we should have that by next week sometime. Lockers are still awaiting shipment. My guess is they won't arrive until July. The 4-inch hose that we purchased from the rescue engine, I think back in March now, there were some delays, but that should
arrive today. It arrived today.
What's that? Sorry, I didn't hear you, Chief.
The 4-inch arrived today. It's all at the fire.
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, there you go. The HVAC inspection that we got quoted for, we received a quote for the HVAC inspection. That'll occur this month. I think it's going to cost far less than what we estimated, which is good news. And a reminder about voting. A reminder that to be eligible to vote, you must be 1, off probation, 2, contribute at least 32 hours a month over the past 1 year, attend at least 2 meetings per calendar year, or be 30th or better on the ride list. And starting at the August meeting, 2 months from now, we will be publishing a list of those who are eligible to vote. Now is the time basically to ensure you qualify, is what we're saying. So we're going to start publishing this before every meeting to the General Assembly for transparency, and keep this updated. With that, we'll move on to the President's report. So President Lovin is flying back to Atlanta right now. He hopes to join us a little bit after 8 o'clock. So might turn over the mic to him when he gets on. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to go ahead and read his report. Probationary members, please continue to provide updates on your probationary manuals. Thanks to Jonah for coordinating onboarding, Sunef for conducting IT onboarding, and Markel for tracking probationary member progress and updates. So we're getting a ton of new people in lately. I'll read you the list later, but the recruitment team as a whole, including the individuals I just mentioned, are doing a great job. I recently ran some statistics to support Eric so we could evaluate where we could do better with recruitment, and the numbers tell a great story. That being said, it does still take a long time for people to get through the county process. So we just ask for your patience, but we are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. With that, also, Eric's been working to deploy Google Ads to improve our marketing, so we hopefully get more inquiries in and target the right people. We continue to face problems with the physical process. The association, the commission, and Chief McClellan are all aware and applying pressure to Concentra to try to streamline this process and resolve it. Morningside's been on the forefront of these conversations. So we've hopefully we'll see some results in the next couple months. President Lovin met with Vic Whipple, President of the Association, to discuss volunteers and their role in the county. And Eric also just wants to foot stomp the requirement for all voting members for 32 hours a month. We have a lot of new members who need our help with training, their probationary manuals, classes, and providing opportunities for them to ride. Please find time to come up to Morningside. So I know everyone's been, some people have been contributing a lot, and we really appreciate that, but we would love to see some new faces as well. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to the operational officers for their reports. Engine Command. Okay. Squad Command.
Craig's on his way.
Okay.
Here's Craig. Into the squad.
You're cutting out a little bit, Craig. Can you go find some better reception for us?
Rescue squad. Congrats. About
Okay, I'm not sure anybody caught any of that, Craig, because your reception's bad. But if you can get to a better place with better reception, let us know. We'll let you do your report. All right. So with that, anyone from the station command? I'm not seeing anyone from the station command. Chief officer reports. Chief Edwards, I see you're online.
Good evening, everyone. I don't have much to talk about today. Like I said, just continue to work on everything that we've been working on. I told a story earlier today at the firehouse about making sure that and this is in regards to the ambulance, that we're doing everything that we're supposed to do in regards to patient reporting, going on calls and make sure that we're doing everything. I had a trial board on Tuesday and had to fire somebody because they decided that they were going to go on a call and not go inside and place themselves in service. So just make sure that we are paying attention to everything that we're supposed to do. I know we have a lot of new members, and just kind of echo what you said. We have more senior members coming in to help out, to do a lot of training and things like that. It'll help a lot of these new members with the turnover process. We've had really good participation from the new people, riding third on the ambulance, trying to get everything done and signed off. But we just need more help in the firehouse to make sure that there's people there that can actually do that for them. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Pecker.
Yeah, so we have some more exciting news to talk about later tonight, but as regards to everything, compliance is doing pretty well. Fit test, I'm going to get with Pete, see if we can schedule some more fit test dates, and just put the numbers out again for the month of May. Our compliance dropped overall a couple percentage points. We're still in the 80s, but the reason why it dropped is because we had another round of people who kind of lapsed, but the other thing is we've gotten a lot more people with masks too. So we're still holding at over 10%, or actually right at 10% of all of the operationally active volunteers in Prince George's County are affiliated with 27, which is a good thing. Remember, we have RMS reports in addition to PCR reports. They have to get done for suppression apparatus. We're starting to see some problems with, or not some problems, but some are slipping through the cracks on completing the EMES reports. So let's make sure we get them done. The chiefs are sending out automated reports to let us know we're missing. I've informed them the officers and we get them done. And then we've been struggling with apparatus, keeping it in service. Basically, it's reflective of the age of our fleet, the call volume we have, and accidents. Accidents are putting our apparatus out of service and costing the organization a lot of money. So we've been doing pretty good lately. Let's try to keep it up. The B ambulance is still finishing repairs at Patriot. It's been out of service for months as a result of the accident that Tim Botts did to it. The A ambulance had some more electronic issues with the engine, so it's out of service again. We're in a county reserve ambulance, which is terrible for our membership to have to deal with. So we're trying to get the B ambulance back as fast as we can. The rescue engine has electronic problems yet again that A&D can't figure out. It's back at A&D. It's a reoccurring issue that they're failing to fix. Performance problem on their end and their vendors. The squad's holding in pretty good. Still needs some more repairs completed on it. And the engine is carrying us as it always does. So that's what's going on with the apparatus. We have some potential new live-ins. We have a new EMT that wants to move in end of the month, as well as a firefighter EMT and some other ones coming through We've been trying to get them together to do this orchestrated live-in, move-in event that Tegmeyer and some of these other guys have spearheaded, and I think it's great. And our goal is to stick to that. But with the county process, we're trying to find the happy medium on how to do that. President Lovin is in agreement that that's a great approach and is committed to it. So more of that's on the way. There's a lot of new members who are coming in with previous experience. If you're paying attention to the weekly updates. So again, take the time to go over the apparatus, drill, practice getting your gear on, practice getting the equipment, learn the equipment, hose lines, all that good stuff. I've been doing a lot of it while I've been up there, and frankly, it's been fun. It's really nice to get back into that kind of stuff and have people with a lot of intention that want to do well. It's why Morningside is Morningside. And then finally, we have not had some Let's Talk About It events a lot recently. I am still concerned about some underlying behavior patterns that are occurring with members. And I'm not saying we have discriminatory acts occurring, but what I'm concerned about is that we are forgetting that everybody is working hard to keep Morningside going, and we're losing some of our compassion. And I want to make sure that we're continuing that compassion and continuing the support of each other. It's important to note that today the rescue squad and the engine, whichever they took, and the ambulance responded to a 2-month-old death of a child. There was some new members, new experience to that. It's a challenging time for everybody. Luckily, we had some senior members on the call, and people like John Hart and these others who have a lot of experience recognize this is a tough call for people. Been following up with them, and as I explained to them today, it's always challenging to be a member at Morningside. You're going to see really bad things, and it's the unfortunate side that comes with service. But the benefit of it is that we're all experiencing it together, and we're all in it together, and we're going to help each other. You're not alone. So make sure we keep that message going. Make sure we're following up on each other. And please just remember, even though we're running a lot of calls and we're all really tired, we're coming from work, and we got a lot of things going on in life, that we're still a family, and we got to look out for each other. And take the time to think about how you're doing or saying something might make somebody feel, because it's not fair for anybody to make people feel certain ways just because we're not paying attention to how we're acting. So we're better than that. We're going to continue to focus on it, keep the organization going, and as always, thank you everybody for your hard work. President Lovin put out some very impressive numbers for our members, helping us with participation, and it's all been very good. So thank you everybody.
All right, thanks, Chief. Any questions for the fire chief or operational side? All right, seeing as there are no questions, we'll move on to committee reports. Leslie, I understand you have Gloria's report. Go ahead.
Thank you. So the Human Resources Committee report, just wanted to update everyone that some members will be participating in all-day fingerprinting training class on June 28th. This will be held in the McCarthy room. And so just want to make sure everyone's aware of that. We have brought in 32 members to date. We also have 4 members who are serving as recruitment coordinators in addition to their administrative and operations responsibilities. They've contacted 68 applicants who had not completed the application process. And we do want to thank those members: Amanda Bell, Sam Farron, Ronnie Oliver, and Marquisa Taylor. And also want to thank other operations members that have been assisting Mrs. Bell with HR functions, and that's Mark-Paul Tillery, Nick Fugar, and Marvin Jimenez. And excuse me if I mispronounced your name. And then there's the membership subcommittee report, and I'll go through this very quickly. For the month of May, we had 24 inquiries about membership with Morningside. Of those 24, 9 individuals had previous firefighter or EMS experience. We had 3 junior firefighter applicants, 1 associate applicant. We had 2 open house events with 10 attendees. 5 applicants have cleared their background and have moved to the physical scheduling stage. We onboarded 9 people in May. So huge shout out to Keith, Colin, Hannah, Ade, Lydia, Derek, Kyle, Amari, and Jamel. Welcome. we had one live-in interview, and then in terms of transfers, request interviews and live-in move-ins or requests, we did not have any for the month of May. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Leslie. LoSAP? I see Carl's online. I assume Lisa's with him.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Lisa. Go ahead.
LoSAP is coming up. It's the end of the fiscal year is June 30th. And that's when I'm going to start making up my preliminary report, letting everybody know where they sit. And in that preliminary report, there won't be run calls. So I'll get those later. Stephen Copley, could I please have the run calls shortly after July 1st, if you're on? Anyone needing to have amendments done, please get your request in as soon as you can so that I have time to work on them and get them into the county. Email or text me to inquire about your years of LoSAP service because I have the new report that has been approved by the county. So if there's any questions, let me know. Text me, email. I'll be available. Thanks.
Thank you, Lisa. Suneth, are you generating the call numbers now, or is Steven still doing that?
I think Steven's still doing that. I don't have access to his.
That's correct. It's still Steven. I'll text him.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. With that, anything from the IT committee? I know you're on, Suneth. I don't see Spencer or Steven on.
No major updates for us this month, but we should have a pretty significant update for the next meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you. With that, do we have Brian from the history committee? Okay, I don't see Brian online, so if he joins us later and give his report. Chief White, anything from public affairs or EEO and diversity?
EEO and diversity. Good evening, everyone. Chief Packer mentioned in his report, we are working to schedule another Let's Talk About It session. Well, the previous one was postponed with some other scheduling conflicts. So we're still working to meet, which we'll be meeting sometime within the next week or two. So we hope to have that done this quarter, so we can be on time for the third quarter one as well. So I do thank you for bringing that up because it is important. I'm reading a book right now for work, which really highlights inclusion and diversity in the workplace. I think it's inclusive to most workplaces, similar to ours here at Morningside. As the chief said, yes, we don't have any incidents or anything, and it's really not about dealing with things in the post sense, but just preemptively, bringing these things up to the attention, because it's not, anything that anybody has done. It's just basically awareness. I think as an organization, the organization does great with and has done a great job over the years with inclusion and diversity. So that's in my report for that committee. Public affairs is still a work in progress. So just call that progress at this point. And thank you.
Okay, thanks. I don't see Chief Henley online, so I'm going to assume we don't have a training report, but I'll pause, see if anybody wants to provide something. Okay, no training committee report. That finishes all the committee reports. And did I miss anyone? I've had a habit of doing that lately. Okay. All right. So with that, we don't have any unfinished business from the last meeting. Let me double check that, make sure. Nope, no unfinished business. So with that, we're going to move on to new business, and I'm going to turn the floor over to Chief Pecker to introduce his new business.
All right, on to the fun stuff. So I'll give you everybody a quick summary, and then we're gonna have some stuff to talk about. Sorry, my kids are. Dan, get out of water. My kids are playing outside in the rain, so I apologize for a second. So the president formed a apparatus committee. I was named the chairman with the regards to the replacement of engine 472, which is the engine. And with that, we've been going through a process to train people, for lack of a better term, educate the committee on particulars of fire apparatus, purchasing process, componentry, features, design, all the different things that allow Morningside to leverage our experiences for our apparatus needs to ensure that we get an apparatus that can serve us. The committee did a really good job putting information together and evaluating everything. It was more or less determined that we're interested in a modernized version of the current wagon that meets the county standard, which the biggest change would be growth of a water tank from 300 gallons to 500 gallons. The rest of the material is pretty similar. The committee commented on the need for a more comfortable cab that allowed for more room for the members, while still being able to optimize a smaller footprint and a highly maneuverable package that didn't have a lot of, for lack of a better term, extra things that we don't need, like storage space and things like that. So we put together some bullet items. Okay, thank you. Put together some bullet items and then solicited proposals from manufacturers based upon our performance items we wanted and reference information to the current apparatus. It's a little different approach than we took with the rescue engine. With the rescue engine, we basically prepared a full, what would be considered an RFP process, with our specification being very particular. And frankly, it turned off some of the vendors and made the process a little challenging because not everybody could build to the standard that we expected. And it took a lot of time. This time, we actually said these are the parameters of performance we're looking for, and we're looking for your proposal based upon that. And it was up to the manufacturer to actually put together the proposal and come back with more details. We solicited proposals from Seagrave Fire Apparatus, Spartan, Emergency One, and KME. We received proposals back from Seagrave, E1, and KME. The committee evaluated them. The committee also leveraged some time with regional sales representatives of componentry that we're able to meet with via virtual video conferencing. So we were able to get some ideas on some more products that we were interested in and using to leverage for the apparatus. We evaluated the apparatus that the vendors brought down. They gave us their proposals. They gave us some supporting information. And at the end of the day, it shook down like this. Seagrave Fire Apparatus basically refused to build the body design that would be similar to the current engine. As a matter of fact, they said it would cost more money to have less compartments because that was a custom configuration. And the cab they offered was a smaller cab, which didn't meet the needs of the committee. So we'd have to go to the next size bigger. And it was a very unimpressive return. E1 offered a very responsive return that was extremely baseline and had baseline componentry and everything, and didn't have the upgraded heavier duty products and components to withstand the service life of a vehicle at Morningside. We asked them to give us pricing on that. We also asked for more specifics in reference to the design proposal. And at the end of the day, it came back that while their initial pricing was very attractive, that it was it was very hard to compare their pricing to others because it was incomplete, and their process was so rigid internally that it didn't allow us to easily compare apples to apples, which is the consequence of not sending out a word-for-word specification. But we're able to get a very good comparison. But more alarming, and what ultimately very much concerned the committee, was they took the approach of, until you sign a contract, we can't give you these additional details and give you more engineered responses, which left us worried that financially it'd be a bad move because they wanted to get us to contract and then potentially change the pricing on changes and adds we wanted after in contract, which would affect the change order prices later on, which is not something we were interested in doing business with. Spartan did not offer a return. And then finally, KME came out of the woodwork and frankly surprised the entire committee, showed us a very well-built product, put together an exam or gave us a demo truck that had the same suspension systems they were offering in our proposal, even though it was a bigger vehicle, but it brought it down here. Members of the committee drove it. They were very impressed. It was very quickly a front runner because of how well it rode and drove and handled and the space in the cab and all the things that the committee was evaluating. And KME has been nothing short of responsive. They have met all of the requirements and things we've asked them. They've done it to the T. And we actually asked for some more changes at the end in reference to some flow meters and different things. And it was so I guess the best way to say it is there was no price impact. So they said, look, if you do this, and then you can get this without having any cost incurrence, which is very important because that showed that they were thinking the way we were. And we actually and our goal was to enter a contract and have very minimal flow meters and different change orders after the contract. It was the Baltimore City Fire Department ordered apparatus from them recently. Howard County's ordered multiple apparatus. They sent us hundreds of pictures of Howard County's apparatus in production. And I guess without further ado, the best thing for me to do is I'll show you the reference drawing from KME Fire Apparatus. I can go through some other things real quick. Let me pull it up here. I apologize. The Baltimore City Fire Department ordered apparatus from them recently. Howard County's ordered multiple apparatus. They sent us hundreds of pictures of Howard County's apparatus in production. And I guess without further ado, the best thing for me to do is I'll show you the reference drawing from KME Fire Apparatus. I can go through some other things. Okay, everybody should be seeing my screen. I apologize. Does everybody see my screen? The Baltimore
Yes.
City Fire Department ordered. Okay, so here is the proposal they put together for us. This apparatus is approximately 13 inches longer than our current wagon. The wheelbase is only 6 inches longer, and it has a much better angle of approach and departure, which will affect its ability to go in and out of places like Regency Park Court, 23rd Parkway, and these different addresses that have grade changes. It's got some additional features the committee would like to see, which included a booster reel under the rear hose bed, which was a really good use of space. It meets the county requirements in addition to meeting the county requirements of hose loads and everything else, which is involved in there as well. And frankly, it's a Morningside piece of apparatus. The committee has been very impressed. We made a unanimous recommendation to the board of directors to proceed with KME Fire Apparatus for the purchase of the new replacement engine. The board of directors unanimously approved that that motion, and it's now coming to the department for approval. And one thing I will admit is that given our very good details in our history, the compliance with the county process requires us to get approval from the county office of the fire chief and all of our subordinate commands prior to the execution of any contract. So tonight, what only we'd be asking for is approval for the purchase of this apparatus pending the approval of the county's process. And then once that has been determined, then we'd be able to enter into a contract. So it's been submitted to the county for evaluation. It's only for evaluation. Nothing has been signed. No paperwork's been executed. We're not allowed to by the procedure or the departmental policies and bylaws. At the end of the day, this is kind of where we fall. We're super impressed with everything, and we've been very pleased with the response. And basically, we're going to be coming to the department tonight for a motion. And this is where my stomach drops because I have the effective apparatus cost right now is ridiculous. So the vendor's name is Matheny Motor Company. They're based out of Hagerstown, Maryland. The closest service center to us would actually be located in Woodbridge, which is only 30 miles from the fire station. They do a lot of road service. Their warranties were comparable, if not better, than the rest of the apparatus we received proposals on. And the financial section of the department felt, including the leadership, that we'd be able to secure funding through your guys' hard work with ambulance billing to ensure payment of this. And the dollar amount, everybody hold your breath, is $717,827, which is comparable to the prices we received from other manufacturers. And they're talking about delivery within 360 days. That being said, no payment would be done until time of final inspection. So we're not talking about actual any distribution of funds until after the vehicle has been inspected and built. So there's no risk to the organization. If we go through and inspect the vehicle and it wasn't built to the specifications and then it's rejected by the department, then we are not obligated to purchase it. But we have to prove, obviously, that it didn't meet the specifications. So the key highlights of this apparatus are a stainless steel body, a galvanized frame rail, and cross-member support system to ensure longevity of the apparatus and prevent rust and corrosion. Stainless steel tank cradles and subframe assemblies, including pump houses and all plumbing, and a lot of other requirements that are specific by Prince George's County. Prince George's County now specifically outlines what brand of warning lights you can have, what brand of fire pump you can use, what brand of valves you can use, the types of relief valves you use, all these different things that are far more reaching than ever been in the past. And this apparatus is 100% compliant with their requirements. What do we got for questions? That's all I got.
I just want to chime in and elaborate on the financial bit a little bit. Eric was going to do this, but I understand he's walking through the airport right now, so there's a lot of noise interference. So, as Chief said, we really are not looking at any kind of down payment on any financing for probably a year from this point or more. So really where that leaves us financially, in working with JR, who worked directly with the apparatus committee, we've determined that both of our ambulances will be paid off at that point, which means that the debt associated with them will be gone, as well as the payments. With that, that'll enable us to move the 508 project, which we get about $40,000 from the county per year, to the mortgage that we have on the renovation. And that will be our only major debt as we enter into this contract. Right now, we're sitting at about, on average, about $23,000 a month for ambulance billing. I mean, give or take a little bit, but that's about where we're at. And with that, we anticipate being able to put a significant down payment on this apparatus when we go to get financing. So when we go to get financing, obviously we're going to pursue the VCAF loan opportunity, which is a 1% interest loan, which will cover a majority of the cost. And we may have to get some supplemental financing on top of that, depending on how much we can put for a down payment. So the bottom line is that, the department's really in the best financial shape it's been in for a number of years. And the administrative side of the house is confident that we're going into this purchase on sound financial footing, and that we thought about all the different possibilities. So with that, I don't have any more comments. So I'll open it.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to touch on just financially, just so we're all clear too, and to make sure people caught this. The plan is to let the ambulance billing account build up. And so what that means is when you guys start to see these monthly transactions and these accounts and the money that's available, just remember that doesn't mean that the money is available to be spent for whatever we want to. We're actually setting that money aside to save up for these down payments for the apparatus. So just so everyone's clear on where we're going to be at long term as far as, letting this money build up and sit in an account rather than go, budget it for other things. So just so everyone's clear on that, as we move forward for the next year, because the down payment is going to be our biggest chunk of change that we got to come up with the money for up front.
Thanks, JR. Any questions from the floor?
I just have one quick question. I probably should have asked this a couple weeks ago, but did you weigh the odds of a new one versus doing what we did with the current engine of buying another one, refurbing it? Did we make the decision that, if it's a 20-year county mandate, it's easier just to buy new based off the life of the loan? Or
the MVFD's ability to purchase a used apparatus and put it in service while it's still available according to the county's policy and procedures is not a real practical reality. The county's requirements have become so stringent that the ability to do that is greatly reduced. So it's, for lack of a better term, it's no longer a feasible option.
Cool. Makes sense. Thank you.
Any other questions from the floor? Okay, seeing as there's no questions, I'm going to introduce this as a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
All right, second from, I think, Marco. Any discussion? Seeing as there's no discussion, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. With that, I don't have any new business to introduce, so I'll open it up to the floor. Is there any new business to introduce? All right, seeing as there's no new business from the General Assembly, at this point, we're going to open up. Pete, you got new business?
It was just date announcements. I can do it under good of the department.
Yeah, let's do it there. So go ahead, Pete. I'll let you kick off. Go to the department.
Okay. Fit test dates will be the next, not this Saturday coming up, but the following 3 Saturdays. And that would be June 12, June 19, and June 26. So we'll be in the station, no appointment per se, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 1800 on Saturday. But we'll do them all 3 Saturdays during the month of June. I've tried to do weeknights to be at the station, and we get limited to essentially nobody showing up on a weeknight. So we'll push with the Saturdays. If there's somebody that has a special need, like wants to come in the Friday night before the 12th, the 19th, or the 26th, I can get that equipment early. Or if it has to fall into a Sunday, I can try and work that out. But if you could, for those, we probably have about 20 people in round figures. If you can make every attempt to do something on the 12th, the 19th, or the 26th. Outside of that, the deep clean with the approval is tentatively scheduled. I'll confirm it, but it's tentatively for next Wednesday, and it may roll into Thursday, but it would be Wednesday the 9th. There will be a full cleaning crew in the station, and we'll probably have them start in the kitchen because that's going to be the most initial part needed, and then it'll branch out across the engine bay and into all the areas that had new construction. But
Hey, Pete.
That date will be June 9.
Hey, Pete, is that going to be completed? Because they're going to be there next Thursday doing the tour of the station based off the grant money at 2 o'clock on Thursday. Is that going to be completed by then? Because I don't think we want them in there while they're touring the station.
Yeah, she said that their goal is to get as much done in one day. They're going to have a pretty large group. If they can get it all done, it may be one long day for them. Not an 8-hour day, but might be a 10 or 12-hour day for them to go ahead and do it. Their goal is to get it all done on the 9th.
Awesome.
And you said who's coming in on the 10th? I'm sorry.
Sullivan, if you're on, you can clarify, but it's the state. Was it the
Correct.
State representatives?
Yeah.
You have to tell me exactly who's coming.
Yeah. So good news. We did so good on our bond bill project. The Department of General Services, the Secretary of the Department of General Services, who reports directly to the governor, heard about the organization, heard about what we did through the bond bill project, and didn't just recognize it as a success, but kind of really fell in love with the organization on paper from the correspondence that I've been having with their staff, is what it seems like. And they love both aspects. You know, we leverage two big points on the bond bill, that this is about increasing capacity and efficiency of the operational side of the department, but then positioning us for our trade school job development program. And I think those two bullets and messages were heard loud and clear and resonated very well with them. So we got selected out of probably, I don't know, JR, what do you think? There was 250 plus different bond bill projects in 2019, something like that.
Give or take. We were like 150 something. So
yeah, and they selected us and another organization to be poster projects that get advertised across the state and get kind of recognized. So as such, Secretary of General Services for the state of Maryland will be coming with his full attaché and public affairs crew. So I wouldn't say that this is so much of a symbol of success of the bond bill project, even though it was, and it's more a reflection of kind of the spirit and intent of everything that everybody does for this organization, all compiled and put together. It got recognized by someone and they want to come celebrate it. So feel free to show up and be at the station and meet the Secretary of General Services.
Okay, well, when they come in, we should have a relatively nice, clean station.
Yeah. Pete, we expect you leading, forming the Morningside band and leading them down Suitland Road to welcome in the
I'll bring
Secretary.
my Walmart. I'll bring my Walmart smile stickers.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah.
Did that include the ceiling tiles, above the ceiling tiles in the kitchen?
Above the ceiling tile?
Yeah, because every time the door closes or whatever and the ceiling tiles move, debris drops out of that ceiling.
Well, I'm going to be there Saturday. I'll take a excuse me, a broom handle, and we'll shake some of that stuff out.
Okay, because it's all dropping on the dishes and the utensils.
Right. There's the one item, we're going to go ahead and we'll do that, Tommy, and, you know, we'll stretch something across the stove temporarily and other eating surfaces when we do that. But we'll also, the exhaust duct banks, we're going to sweep those off, and then they'll come behind us. So those are the two things in the ceiling areas that we're going to do in preparation for the cleaning crew.
Cool.
Outside of that, we're pretty detailed. They'll be wiping down and washing down the walls in the engine bay, every room that was touched. In addition, the bathroom off the engine bay is going to get a deep clean there. So that's going to occur as well as part of this effort.
Okay, great. Thanks, Pete. Sounds like the station will be in good shape after that cleaning and preparation for this. Anything else under good of the department?
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead, Tommy.
What about that door going into the pantry?
What about the door?
Somebody said there's a mouse nest inside the door.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. A what?
A mice nest inside that door.
Okay. Well, we'll call the watch office and get the exterminators to come out.
10-4.
I tell you what, instead of doing that, Tommy, can you take the door off and throw it away?
Absolutely.
Take the door off and throw it away.
All right.
We'll deal with the replacement of it later, but if there's mice in the door, just throw it away.
Yeah, yeah, it's a hollow core door.
Okay, great. Anything else under the department?
Mike, I got a one question and then one comment on something. You're having an inspection there on Thursday in regards to grant money. Did I hear that right?
I wouldn't call it an inspection necessarily. It's just that they're coming out to see the work that was funded by the bond bill.
Right. I haven't been there in a while, but I don't know if we still have the dogs or anything like that. Has that issue been taken care of? You know, we don't want them around there, you know, if we're having some inspection.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll make sure there aren't any dogs present at the firehouse that day.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes it any better or not, but that's and then on this Sunday is the 6th. The Maryland State Fireman's Firefighter Memorial in Annapolis will be holding its memorial service at 2 o'clock for all our fallen firefighters in the state of Maryland. In the past year or so, that's been virtual because of COVID. Now it's open to the public. So that'll be at 2 o'clock. Kathy and I will be there to represent the Morningside Volunteer Fire Department and our 2 fallen firefighters' names that are on that wall, Mike McCarthy and Kenny Hedrick. So that'll be at 2 o'clock. If anyone wants to come by, it's open to the public. And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Les. Anything else under good of the department? All right, seeing as there's nothing else under good of the department, at this point in the meeting, I'm going to ask all our probationary members to please sign off for the night so we can conduct the probationary progression votes, excuse me. So thank you for joining us this evening, and we're going to give them a few minutes to sign off.